Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2015 Valparaiso Baseball World Series Draft. We have an exciting night in store for you. As a bumper crop of Valparaiso baseball players wait to hear their names called, will I join Scott Yerge's Cacambas or Dalton Lundeen's Monstars? Fate will decide. I'm Drew Petzel, and I'm joined by my meteorology enthusiast and fellow student manager, Johnny Hammersmith. Johnny, anticipation is building as the first pick is only seconds away. What direction do you think Yerge will go? Do you believe there's going to be a favorite to come off the board first?
Well, Drew, it's hard to say. Both general managers have kept things pretty close to the rest of the days leading up to the draft. Who goes first is really anyone's guess, but based on what I've seen this fall, I'm going to go with Nate Pallas being the first pick. He's been one of the most consistent hitters of the fall and has found a lot of barrels, and there's currently a strong front making its way down from Canada, and it will impact us here in the next couple of days. And with this cold air, you can see barometric pressure start to tend to drop, so we'll be around that 29 to 29.5 measure range of metric barometric pressure. Nice. And this is a definite sign that Nate Pallas is our guy.
And if Yerge goes with a pitcher?
Well, I don't think he will, but if Yerge does go with a pitcher, I like Ryan Fritzy to be the guy. Not only has he showed electric stuff all the fall, but the average temperature for Valparaiso in October is 63 degrees. And we've had uncharacteristically warm October due to warm fronts moving
All right,
through.
John, back to you. We got the draft. But top notch, as always. Great job.
Thank you.
I just received word that the first pick is in. Here's head coach Brian Schmack to announce the first pick.
Brian Schmack, and I don't know if you guys have watched him play in MLB, but I heard he has this splitter that defies gravity, like a warm parcel rising through the atmosphere that is also defying gravity. Back to you, Schmack.
Welcome everyone to the 2015 Fall World Series Draft. Coming to you from the clubhouse here, we have the Cacambas, coached by Scott Yerge, and the Monstars, coached by Dalton Lundeen. Let's get right to it. Cacambas, you are on the clock. With the first pick of the 2015 Fall World Series Draft, the Cacambas select Mario Losi. Monstars, you're on the clock.
So, Yerge decides to go with Losi for the first pick. Wise move, Johnny?
Well, I did say Losi was going to go first, so I do like the Cacambas pick.
No, you didn't. You said Fritzy was going to go first.
Well, Drew, when you fail to realize that Losi is from California, which enjoys beautiful weather year-round, thanks to its location near the Pacific Ocean, this means dew points are higher and humidity is lower, so you're going to get that more comfortable feel.
John, the draft. We have to get back to the draft. Because of the snake draft format tonight, the Monstars, led by senior pitcher Dalton Lundeen, will have the next two picks, followed by the Cacambas, having the next two, and so on and so forth. Thoughts, Johnny?
Absolutely.
On point again, John. Let's go back to Coach Schmack for the next two picks in the draft.
With the Monstars' first pick of the 2015 Fall World Series Draft, they select Trevor Haas. With the next pick in the 2015 draft, the Monstars select Ryan Fritzy. That's it. Cacambas, you're on the clock for two. With the next pick, the Cacambas select Montana Quigley.
Oh, good point. Good
The next pick The Cucumbers select Josh Clark.
So, surprise there. They go for outfielder early in the second round.
I'm not surprised at all, really. Josh Clark has a great all-around presence in the outfield and at the plate batting. And did you know, past this summer, there was a Bo Echo in Oklahoma that popped out a pretty nasty
Really?
mater. Yeah, it was pretty nasty.
Is he from Oklahoma? Is that why you said that?
No, I'm not from Oklahoma. No.
Interesting. Back to you, Schmack.
With the next selection, the Monstars select Chad Jacobs. The next pick, the Monstars select James Staya.
Sweet back there. James Port.
Oh, interesting pick there with Stay running out in the third round.
You know, I like that. I really do like that. He's an outfielder with lightning speed. And another fun fact for you, did you know that the sound we hear from lightning is thunder? So thunder
Yeah,
is
I actually thought we were gonna talk about how tight his pants were. Isn't that kind of weird?
that was a little interesting. Interesting of the pick of the pants that he would wear to
Yeah,
draft day.
very
you know?
small.
Usually guys are showing up in suits and stuff
Yeah.
around here, but back to that lightning and
No,
stuff.
super tight pants though.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I think we're gonna get back to the draft now.
Absolutely.
Back to you, Schmack.
The next pick, the Cucumbers select Bryce Yoder. With the next pick, the Cucumbers select Nolan Loden. Monstars, you're on the clock.
Interesting pick there. The Cucumbas grabbed their second outfielder of the day.
Yeah,
Nolan
Nolan Loden. He is an Iowa boy. They have some interesting weather up there. There was a blizzard in Iowa one time.
Wow. A lot of corn though.
There is a lot of corn and soybeans, you know.
Yeah.
But that all affects the weather
Yeah.
too.
Back to the draft.
The next pick, the Monstars select Nate Palace. Monstars, you're on the clock. With the next pick, the Monstars select Giovanni Garbella.
And the Monstars, they get the first outfielder off the board. They got Gio, and they also got Nate Palace. Thoughts, Johnny?
I like the pick with Giovanni Garbella. He's another outfielder whose presence can also be felt at the plate and in the outfield, making some pretty big plays. Also, we will be seeing a presence of this polar blast coming down from Canada here in the next couple of weeks.
Hey,
so it's
John,
going to bring
John,
freezing
John,
temperatures.
John?
Yeah.
He's from California. He doesn't know anything about polar blast at all.
Well, he's going to learn here in the next
Yeah.
couple of days. Yeah.
The goal is blasts, over the fence.
Right, blast. He does
Right.
that pretty well,
Well,
hitting home runs
yeah.
sometimes.
Back to the draft.
The next pick, the Cucumbers select Luke Van Lannen. With the next pick, the Cucumbers select Daniel Delaney. With the next pick, the Monstars select Alex Dorenzo. Congrats, Alex. Monstars, you're up.
A couple interesting picks there. They grab Dorenzo, the Monstars did, and the Cucumbas got Dan and Van Lanen. Thoughts?
I really like the two picks of Dan Delaney and Luke Van Linnen. To start out with Delaney, He's really been driving the ball well. He can hit some monster tanks over that left field wall. And how about Hurricane Katrina? It had some 180-mile-per-hour driving wind and rain.
Yeah, nuts. Really,
Nuts.
pretty crazy.
And then Luke Van Linden, have you seen his fastball?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Well, you can't look at it the whole time, but
Man, I tell
see
you
it at
what,
least
that thing
sometimes.
is like a tornado feeding off vertical wind shear. That's what that is right there.
Everyone
Out
knows
of
what that means.
control.
With the next pick, the Monstars select Shea Mulligan. Oh, man. All right. Congrats, kid. Next selection, the Monstars select Chet Joslin.
Couple more good picks there. We got Shea Mauler coming off the board as well as Chet Joslin.
I think Shea Molitor was a pretty key pick here. He's got a big, strong upper body. He's a third baseman. You can tell that boy likes to eat. And speaking of eating, Mom made meatloaf tonight, Drew.
Meatloaf.
Yes,
Unreal.
meatloaf, my favorite.
It's a good night.
She
Good
always
night
knows how to
household.
please me. Yes.
With the next selection in the draft, the Cucumbas take Chet Joslin.
Done this before.
The next pick in the draft, the Cucumbas select Jeff Edwards. With the next selection in the draft, the Monstars select Sam Shaken. With the next pick in the draft, the Monstars select Nick Leverton. With the next pick in the draft, the Cucumbas select Jake Hansen. Welcome back, Jake. With the next pick, the Cucumbas select Chase Dawson.
Wow, another couple interesting picks, John. Any thoughts about those?
I'm going to have to go with the pick of Jake Hansen. It's a really interesting pick. He's a senior catcher, and he's battled some adversity with some injuries here. In the past couple of years, just like those El Niños are battling those La Niñas in the Pacific Ocean for dominance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, wonderful stuff.
The next pick, the Monstars select Scott Caper. With the next pick in the draft, the Monstars select Dylan Antunes. The next pick is Cucumbas select Patrick Donahue. And for the final pick, 2015 Fall World Series Draft, the Cucumbas select Luke Simons.
And that wraps up our draft today, John. Any thoughts on those final picks?
I'd like to pick out Scott Capers for one of those final picks. He's a freshman catcher, one of the strongest arms I've seen in a while, and I'd like to compare him to an EF5 Tornado.
All right, John. I mean, it's not the 6 o'clock news.
Well,
we're not doing weather.
No, an EF5 Tornado is summoned by wind shear, moisture, advection, and a source of lift. And when he's throwing the ball, that thing's on fire.
Heard it here first. Scott Capers might be a tornado. All right, Scott, you went with Mario Losi as your first pick. What made you decide that Losi was the guy for you?
He was throwing strikes this fall, pounding the rock, up to 90, 91. He's been here before. He knows the hitters. He knows how to pitch to them. He's just my guy, and I wanted him, and I got him.
Good. Love
We've
it.
also been pounded by a lot of high-pressure systems in the past couple weeks.
All right, Scott, what do you like most about the team you drafted?
Oh my God, I got all the pitchers. We're deep. We're talented. We're gonna win a ball game.
There you go. What was your draft strategy coming in tonight, and did it change at all after the draft got underway?
I was shocked that Dalton did not pick pitchers early, and I snagged every one of them. Also, we're kind of short in the outfield, so I snagged 3 right away. 3 good, solid hitting outfielders. I think we got a squeeze or a team that's going to compete.
With the Valpo World Series only days away, how do you think your team stacks up against the Monstars?
We're going to win. It's just that simple.
You heard it here first, Scott Yergy.
By the way, thanks for spelling my name right. That's awesome.
Okay, here we go. Ready, set, go.
All right, Dalton, so can you tell us a little bit about your strategy coming in tonight, and did it change at all after the draft got underway?
Yeah, absolutely. You have a big board coming into these kind of things, and you have players that you expect to go in certain slots, but, when you got a guy like Scott who's going to go ahead and handcuff you a little bit with that double pick, it's tough, but, my strategy was get a couple good pitchers early and really attack the outfield. I think there's a couple good outfielders that, that can run the ball down a lot. Josh Clark, James Staya, both guys. He took Clark, so I had to make a move and take Staya early on.
Well, that sounds like a good strategy to me.
What do you like most about the team you drafted, Dalton?
I really like our depth. I think, just looking across the board, you got a lot of guys who can play in a lot of different spots. You got a guy like Gio, you never know where you can put him in if you need him. But then, you got to look at the pitching. You got to look at Trevor Haas, Ryan Fritzie, Dorenzo, Leverton, and Antonitis. All guys, you can expect certain things out of them. You can expect depth, or you can expect a couple innings from each of those guys. I think a lot of them are going to step up for me.
All right, and Dalton, you went with Trevor and Ryan Fritzie as your first 2 picks. What made you decide on these 2 players right away?
He took Mo first overall, and obviously, you'd love to have a guy like Mo, a guy who can give you a lot of solid good innings. But both Ryan and Trevor are guys, we looked at ahead of time. We scouted them pretty extensively for a while, and they both graded out very well, and thought we'd go and get them when we could.
Good. And with the Valpo World Series only days away, how do you think your team stacks up against the Cucumbas?
Well, you know what? Scott did a great job. He really did a good job putting the team together, but I think we got a lot of heart. I think, we're going to come together pretty quickly here. Obviously, you got to get the guys on a team to start off, but, these next couple of days, we're really going to work about bonding and work about getting better as a team.
Good. And that is all we have today with the draft coverage.